Hey everyone, welcome back to English Every Day. I'm Sarah Mitchell, and today we have something really important for your learning journey.
And I'm David Chen. Sarah, this episode is going to help so many learners finally understand where they actually are in their English journey.
Exactly. Today we're talking about English proficiency levels, from A1 all the way to C2. We're going to help you identify your level and understand what each level means.
And this is so helpful because once you know your level, you can set realistic goals and know exactly what to focus on.
Right. Too many learners don't know if they're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. They just feel lost.
And if you're new here, welcome. We make learning English clear, practical, and achievable. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
This episode is perfect for anyone learning English, whether you're just starting, preparing for tests like IELTS or TOEFL, or wondering how close you are to fluency.
We're going to use the CEFR framework. That's the Common European Framework of Reference. It's the international standard for measuring language ability.
Don't worry, we'll make it super simple. We'll break down each level, give you clear examples, and help you figure out exactly where you are.
Plus, we'll tell you what you need to work on to reach the next level.
So, whether you're A1, absolute beginner, or C2, basically a native speaker, this episode will give you clarity.
Before we dive in, if you're excited to finally understand your English level, show us some love with a like.
Let's discover where you are on your English journey. All right, David, let's start with the basics. What exactly is the CEFR, and why does it matter?
Great question. CEFR stands for Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. It's the standard system used worldwide to describe language ability.
It divides English proficiency into 6 levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. Each level describes what you can do with the language.
Exactly. It's not about grammar rules you've memorized, it's about real communication skills.
Let me break down the 3 main categories. A levels are basic user, A1 and A2. B levels are intermediate, B1 and B2. And C levels are proficient user, C1 and C2.
Think of it like this. A levels are beginner, B levels are intermediate, and C levels are advanced.
And here's what's important. These levels look at 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking.
Importantly, you might be different levels in different skills, like you might be B2 in reading, but only B1 in speaking.
So true. That's super common. Most learners are stronger in some areas than others.
The CEFR is used for language tests like IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge exams, and even job requirements.
So understanding your level helps you prepare for tests, apply for jobs, or study abroad.
Today, we're going to go through each level in detail so you can identify where you are.
Let's start at the very beginning, A1. David, describe this level.
A1 is absolute beginner level. You're just starting your English journey.
What you can do at A1. Introduce yourself with basic information. Understand simple, slow speech. Use very basic phrases like hello, thank you, how are you? Understand simple signs and notices. Write short, simple sentences about yourself.
At this level, you know maybe 500 to 800 words.
Example conversations at A1. Hello, my name is Sarah. I am from America. I am a teacher. Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is David. I am from Canada. I am 30 years old. How are you?
See, very basic. Short sentences, present tense, simple vocabulary.
What A1 learners struggle with?
Understanding native speakers at normal speed. Having conversations beyond basic introductions. Understanding different tenses. Reading anything longer than a few sentences. Writing more than simple statements.
If you're A1, don't worry. Everyone starts here. Focus on building basic vocabulary and simple grammar.
Learn survival English first. Greetings, numbers, days, basic questions.
Time to reach A1?
For a complete beginner, Reaching A1 takes about 60 to 80 hours of study.
That's about 2 to 3 months if you study consistently.
Now let's move to A2, elementary level. This is where things get a bit more interesting.
Yes, at A2, you can actually start having simple conversations.
What you can do at A2. You can talk about familiar topics, family, hobbies, work. You can describe your background and surroundings. You understand frequently used expressions. You can communicate in simple, routine tasks. And you can write short, simple notes and messages.
Vocabulary grows to about 1,000 to 1,500 words.
Example conversations at A2. I work in a school. I teach English to children. I like my job very much. On weekends, I usually meet my friends. We go to the cinema or have dinner together.
I live in Toronto. It's a big city. I have one brother and one sister. In my free time, I like reading and playing guitar. Last weekend, I went to the park.
Notice the difference? More complex sentences, some past tense, more details. What A2 learners struggle with.
Understanding movies or TV shows, having conversations on unfamiliar topics, understanding different accents, using complex grammar, conditionals, perfect tenses, expressing abstract ideas.
If you're A2, you're making progress. Now, focus on expanding vocabulary and learning more tenses. Time to reach A2.
From complete beginner to A2 takes about 180 to 200 hours of study.
That's roughly 6 to 8 months of consistent learning. Now we're at B1, intermediate. This is a big milestone.
This is where you start feeling like, hey, I can actually speak English.
What you can do at B1. Understand the main points of clear standard speech. Handle most situations while traveling. Produce simple connected text on familiar topics. Describe experiences, dreams, hopes, and ambitions. Give reasons and explanations for opinions.
Vocabulary expands to about 2,000 to 2,500 words.
Example at B1. I've been studying English for about 3 years now, and I'm starting to feel more confident. Although I still make mistakes, I can usually express what I want to say. Last summer, I traveled to London by myself, and I was able to communicate with people without too much difficulty. However, I found it challenging when people spoke very quickly or used slang.
Impressed. See the complexity, using perfect tenses, connecting ideas, expressing challenges? What B1 learners struggle with? Understanding fast, natural speech, understanding jokes, idioms, and cultural references, discussing complex, abstract topics, writing formal documents or academic essays, maintaining fluency for extended periods. B1 is the survival level. You can travel, work in English environments, and handle daily life.
B1 is the survival level. You can travel, work in English environments, and handle daily life.
Many university programs require B1 as minimum entry level.
Time to reach B1. From 0 to B1 takes about 400 to 500 hours of study.
That's roughly 1 to 2 years of consistent learning.
Okay, time for fun. Let's talk about times we misjudged our English level.
Oh, I have a great story about this.
Let's hear it.
So, when I was at B1 level, I thought I was way better than I actually was. I was watching TV shows and understanding some things, so I thought, I'm basically fluent.
Oh no, where's this going?
So I confidently went to a job interview, completely in English. They asked me, can you tell us about a time you went above and beyond? And I just stared at them blankly.
Gasp! You didn't understand the question?
I understood all the words separately, but together, no idea what above and beyond meant. I was so embarrassed. I realized I wasn't as advanced as I thought.
That's such a common experience. Idioms destroy confidence.
Exactly. It taught me that watching TV isn't enough. You need comprehensive learning.
Okay, my turn. So I was teaching an intermediate class, and one student insisted he was advanced level,
Uh-oh.
right? So I asked him to describe a complex situation, and he said, "Yesterday, I go to store. I buy bread. Bread is good."
That's A2 at best.
I know. He could read advanced texts okay, but his speaking was still basic. It showed me that you can be different levels in different skills.
That's such an important lesson. You might be B2 in reading, but A2 in speaking.
Exactly. And that's okay. You just need to focus on developing all 4 skills. Let's move to B2, upper intermediate. This is where things get really exciting.
B2 is the comfort zone level. You can actually function well in English.
What you can do at B2. Understand the main ideas of complex texts. Interact with native speakers with fluency and spontaneity. Produce clear, detailed text on various subjects. Explain viewpoints on topical issues. Understand most TV shows, movies, and news.
Vocabulary grows to about 3,000 to 4,000 words.
Example at B2. I've always been fascinated by the way technology has transformed our daily lives. While I appreciate the convenience of smartphones and social media, I'm also concerned about the impact they're having on face-to-face communication. In my opinion, we need to find a better balance between digital and real-world interactions. What I find particularly interesting is how different generations approach technology. My parents, for instance, are much more cautious about social media than my younger cousins.
Impressed. Notice the sophisticated vocabulary, complex sentences, and nuanced opinions.
What B2 learners struggle with.
Understanding very fast or heavily accented speech, catching all nuances in movies or podcasts, writing at academic or professional native level, understanding subtle humor or sarcasm, discussing highly specialized topics.
B2 is often required for university admission and professional jobs.
Many companies require B2 for international positions.
Time to reach B2. From 0 to B2 takes about 600 to 750 hours.
That's roughly 2 to 3 years of dedicated study.
Now we're getting into advanced territory, C1.
Seriously, C1 is where you're nearly indistinguishable from native speakers in many contexts.
What you can do at C1. Understand a wide range of demanding, longer texts. Express yourself fluently without much searching for expressions. Use language flexibly for social, academic, and professional purposes. Produce clear, well-structured, detailed text on complex subjects. Understand almost everything you hear or read.
Vocabulary is about 5,000 to 8,000 words or more.
Example at C1. The ramifications of climate change extend far beyond rising temperatures and melting ice caps. What we're witnessing is a fundamental restructuring of ecosystems, economic systems, and social structures. While some argue that technological innovation will eventually mitigate these effects, I'm inclined to believe that without systemic policy changes and a shift in collective consciousness, we're merely postponing the inevitable. The discourse around climate change often fails to acknowledge the intersectionality of environmental justice and socioeconomic inequality, which, in my view, is a critical oversight.
Wow, academic vocabulary, complex arguments, sophisticated structure.
What C1 learners struggle with.
Access specialized academic or technical fields outside their expertise. Very subtle cultural references or wordplay. Matching native level speed in very casual conversations.
some regional dialects, or very strong accents, producing native-level creative writing.
C1 is the level most universities require for graduate programs.
It's also the level needed for professional jobs that require high-level communication.
Time to reach C1.
From 0 to C1 takes about 800 to 1,000 hours.
That's roughly 3 to 4 years of intensive study. Finally, we reach C2, mastery level, the peak.
C2 is essentially native or near-native proficiency.
What you can do at C2: understand virtually everything heard or read with ease. Summarize information from different spoken and written sources. Express yourself spontaneously, very fluently, and precisely. Differentiate finer shades of meaning in complex situations. Use language creatively and idiomatically.
Vocabulary is 10,000 plus words, similar to educated native speakers.
Example at C2. The linguistic nuances inherent in cross-cultural communication are often underestimated, leading to what I'd characterize as a sort of cognitive dissonance in international business dealings. Having navigated these waters for years, I've come to appreciate the subtle interplay between explicit verbal communication and implicit cultural codes. What strikes me as particularly fascinating is how even proficient non-native speakers, despite their technical command of the language, occasionally miss those ephemeral, context-dependent subtleties that native speakers instinctively grasp. Not due to any deficiency in their language acquisition, mind you, but rather because these nuances are so deeply embedded in cultural consciousness.
That's basically indistinguishable from a highly educated native speaker.
What C2 learners might struggle with:
Rare, specialized terminology outside their field. Some very obscure cultural or historical references. Extreme regional dialects. Very casual slang from younger generations.
But honestly, at C2, these are minor gaps. Many native speakers would struggle with these too.
C2 is often required for translation work, teaching, or very high-level professional roles.
Time to reach C2. From 0 to C2 takes about 1,000 to 1,200 plus hours.
That's 4 to 6 years or more of dedicated, consistent study.
Now let's help you figure out your level. We'll give you some quick indicators.
Answer these questions honestly.
Quick self-assessment. Question 1. Can you understand this podcast easily? If you need subtitles for everything, A1 to A2. If you understand most but miss some words, B1 to B2. If you understand everything easily, C1 to C2.
Question 2. When you speak, how do you feel? I struggle to form sentences. A1. I can say basic things but make lots of mistakes. A2. I can express myself but search for words. B1. I'm comfortable but not always fluent. B2. I speak quite fluently with few pauses. C1. I speak as naturally as I do in my native language. C2.
Question 3. What can you read comfortably? Simple signs and menus? A1. Short messages and simple texts? B1. Blog posts and simple articles? B1. News articles and most books? B2. Academic papers and complex literature? C1. Anything, including dense technical documents? C2.
Question 4. What can you write? Short sentences about myself. A1. Simple messages and notes. A2. Emails and short essays. B1. Detailed texts and reports. B2. Professional documents and research papers. C1. Anything at native level. C2.
Question 5. Can you watch movies or TV without subtitles? No, I need subtitles in my language. A1, A2. I need English subtitles. B1. I can watch with some difficulty. B2. I can watch most things easily. C1. I never need subtitles. C2.
Based on your answers, you should have a good sense of your level.
Remember, you might be different levels in different skills, and that's completely normal. Now, the important part, how do you move to the next level?
Let's give specific advice for each level.
A1 to A2. Learn 10 to 20 new words every day. Master present, past, and future simple tenses. Practice basic conversations daily. Listen to slow, clear English, like our podcast. Write simple sentences about your day.
A2 to B1. Expand vocabulary to 2,500 plus words. Learn all major tenses, perfect, continuous. Start reading simple books or blogs. Practice longer conversations. Write short paragraphs and emails.
B1 to B2. Consume native content, movies, podcasts, news. Learn phrasal verbs and idioms. Practice speaking about complex topics. Write essays and detailed texts. Focus on fluency, not just accuracy.
B2 to C1. Read challenging materials, academic, literary. Discuss abstract and complex topics. Master subtle grammar nuances. Practice professional or academic writing. Work on speed and spontaneity.
C1 to C2. Immerse yourself in native content constantly. Learn cultural references and subtle humor. Practice creative and professional writing. Engage with native speakers regularly. Study specialized vocabulary in your field.
The key at every level, consistent practice across all 4 skills.
Don't neglect any skill. Balance reading, writing, listening, and speaking. All right, everyone, it's self-assessment time.
In the comments, tell us, what level do you think you are? Which skill is your strongest? Which skill needs the most work?
For example, I think I'm B1. My reading is strongest, but my speaking needs work.
We'll give you personalized advice based on your level.
Be honest with yourself. There's no shame in any level. Everyone's on their own journey.
And if you're not sure about your level, describe what you can do, and we'll help you figure it out.
Wow, David, we covered the entire English proficiency scale today.
We really did. Let's recap quickly.
Today, you learned the CEFR framework, A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, what you can do at each level, how to identify your current level, time and effort needed for each level, and how to progress to the next level.
We also covered the 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, speaking. Why you might be different levels in different skills, realistic expectations for progression, and specific strategies for leveling up.
Remember, your level is just a starting point, not a judgment. Everyone starts somewhere.
And levels aren't rigid. You're constantly improving and moving forward.
If this episode helped you understand your English level, please give it a thumbs up.
And subscribe to English Every Day. We create content for all levels.
Don't forget to comment your level and which skill needs work. We genuinely want to help you.
Next episode, we're covering English idioms and expressions to help you sound more natural.
Share this video with English learners who want to understand their level.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through the levels.
Keep learning, keep growing, and remember, progress, not perfection.
I'm David Jen.
And I'm Sarah Mitchell, and this has been English Every Day.
See you next time.
Remember,
Every level is progress. Keep going and you'll get there.